audience.
Yes, yes, yes. And I will probably get cancelled on the internet for saying this, but ठीक है, big deal man. Anyways, कौन सा मेरे को इंटरनेट पे बहुत तारीफ हो रही है, तो कैंसिल कोई क्या ही करेगा. I think Gen Z is fucked.
Hi, everybody. This is episode one of Content with SG. I'm just Sai. And the first question for today is your thoughts on work life balance. As a person who has worked with a lot of people across industries, across different brands, niche, etc., help people um, learn about what's happening in the industry, especially marketing or brand consulting. I want to know, as a 20-year-old and as you are double my age, as basis your experience and recent changes that are going in the industry, what are your thoughts on work-life balance? How has it changed? How you see it now? Whatever are your starting thoughts?
So Ria, thank you for this question. It's a fairly loaded question, and I am somebody who believes कि काम ही जीवन ही काम है. तो मेरे लिए answer is very very clear. However, I want to give the perspective of what makes it clear for me. Why do I drive myself to work as hard as I do right now? That's A. And B, for the context of the audience here, this is being recorded at 9:24 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So if you categorize this as work, then you can imagine Ria is being forced to work on a Sunday morning. I am at a Starbucks trying to work on a Sunday morning. So you can totally understand where I come from and what I do. Now, when somebody says work-life balance, I want to divide that into categories in terms of what my brain operates as. So let me define each of the word: work, life, and balance, and then we'll take it from there. What is work? Work is the body of work that you want to stand for. For some people, podcasting could be work. For some people, marketing could be work. For a Sachin, cricket could be work. For a Dhoni, cricket could be work. For a coder whose only life is coding, coding could be work. For a musician, the music creation could be work. For a data entry analyst operator, the fact that they are entering data could be work. The lady behind me who's at Starbucks, for her, sitting at Starbucks and working is work. Like this guy behind me who's trying to lift a heavy box, for him this is work. So that's what work is for people. Uh, on the other side, what is life? Now, life, okay, work is a very unidimensional thing. You do work and you make money out of it. Life is that life has multiple dimensions to it. So there is health, there is wealth, there is money, there is relationships, there is people, there is, I don't know, million things. Side note, what you should do is you should look at one of those things called the Wheel of Life chart by I think Tony Robbins. I am not sure of the name, but what it does is divides your life into multiple spokes. I was saying life has multiple components to it, and in those components there is health, wealth, relationships. I don't know what all. Like there are like 20 spokes to it. And what has happened is that that you can identify to divide life into like 15 things that you want to live for. So work is a small component of life. Money is a small component of life. So definition of work is clear from this perspective. Definition of life is clear from this perspective. And there is this thing called balance. Now, what is balance? In the easiest English physics definition, balance is two sides of the scale, both balancing each other, and that's where the math equates. What people say, the conventional wisdom says that you need to be able to balance the work and the life. What that means is that if you're working hard for 8 hours, you probably need to not work for 8 hours. If I have to divide our day of 24 hours into three sets, there is work set, there is, so it's 8, right? What they say is 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours of other things. Now, the sad part of modern life is that we've given one third of our life away to what people call work, and I will come back to that. So what you do is, apart from the time that you sleep, you're only thinking about work from the time you wake up, from the time you sleep to the time you, like, even interacting with other people, you think about work all the time. Work lives rent free in your head all the time. मतलब करते करते तुम सब दिमागी में सिर्फ काम की बात सोच रहे हो. Here is an interesting thing. So people who advocate for work-life balance, I'm not an advocate, but people who advocate for work-life balance, I 100% respect those people, and they probably do it because they've seen the adverse effects of thinking about work all the time in the back of their heads, and that is And that's a great place to be at. But for people like me, for me, work is play and play is work. This conversation, Ria, is work for me. For you, Ria, probably this is a work conversation. For somebody else I mean, I'm meeting somebody at 11:30 today at this same Starbucks. Now that person is a theater actor, and for him, there is no concept of a Sunday or a Saturday because his show could be on a Sunday, his prep could be on a Saturday, his travel could be on a different day. So for him, the weekly schedule of a daily guidance doesn't really add up. What makes difference is the fact that he can chase his work and his life at the same time. Now, that's the place I am at. That if you're so consumed by your work that you actually make that your life, then there is no concept of a balance needed. Like, for example, for a Sachin, when he plays a cricket test match on a Sunday, is he talking about work life balance? Probably not. But what he's talking about is probably a effort and relaxation balance. So what that means is that he's probably making a lot of effort by playing cricket for like 5 days in a test match, and then the body needs to recuperate from that effort, and then he needs a downtime to be able to recover from that. So this entire work-life balance debate should have started by saying hard work and easy mode, hard mode and easy mode, and then the balance of the two. Now, like I said, modern life has made us believe that work is inherently bad. There's no work-life balance, but the debate should have been hard work and hard mode and easy mode. So you operate in hard mode for 8 hours in a day, and then you probably operate in easy mode for the 16 hours of day, and then you can choose what your hard mode and easy mode is. And for me, the modes are what probably make a difference. Like Sachin ke liye, 5 दिन का test match is a hard mode, and then 2 weeks is a easy mode. For somebody, I used to do events for a living at a point in time. For me, doing events was a hard mode, like a sprint for like a month, and then there was an easy mode for like 3 days, which is fine. And then I was back to hard mode of 1 month of an event. So idea is to be able to identify the hard modes and the easy modes for you as an individual, as a team, and then scale from there on. And that is where the answer could be. But the modern working environment doesn't allow us that flexibility of hard mode, easy mode, the choice and the agency of the individual to be on that. And that's why all the challenges around work life balance come in. Now, it is a little difficult for me to explain to the world at large that what is work, hard mode, and easy mode, and how do you balance the two. But I will lean on to people like Satya Nadellas of the world, wherein they say that there is something called work-life harmony. There are people who say that it's an interplay between work and life, and what they essentially are saying is that can you be so consumed with your work that it becomes life for you. So like when like we often talk about Taylor Swift, because one of my really close people is a big fan of Taylor Swift. Now Taylor Swift controls every aspect of the show that that person puts out, from who will come and who will speak and who will talk and who will do, and everything is controlled by Taylor Swift. And for her, probably that is work, because she's controlling who's going to sing, who's going to manage the stage, who's going to sell the ticket, this is how the ticket will look like, this is how the creative will look like. So all those things are work for her. I have a friend who's like a very senior person at a chocolate company, per se. And he's a very type A person, and he wants to control everything that goes out of his desk. And for him, that is play and that is life. So even when he's on the downtime, he's only concentrating on the value that he wants to give to people who have trusted him with work. And then he continues to operate from there. And he drives his entire team and setup and structure with that. Now who am I to say to go to that guy or go to a Taylor Swift or go to you and me and say, hey, you need to have work-life balance or you need to have work-life harmony? Nobody. You need to make the choice of yourself. You need to identify as an individual what is important for you and then operate from there on. So in the entire debate scheme of things, I'm leaning on to work balance. However, I'm a biased person. What is my solution is that you need to identify what is your rhythm, what is your body, what is your mind, what is your work, and then identify the hard modes, easy modes, and then operate from there on. So that's the general answer. My sense is that this podcast and this conversation will be heard by a lot of young people, and what that means is that that I want to tweak the answer for young people here. And my answer for young people is fairly simple. So think of your life in 5 year blocks of time. So let's say you are 20 right now. And let's say argument's sake you die at the age of 80. I hope you die longer, you live longer. But assume karo kya 80 साल की उम्र तक जिंदा रहने वाले. So you have from if you're 20 today, you live till 80. you have 60 years of life ahead of you. What if you break your life into 5 year chunks? So you have 12 chunks of 5 years ahead of you. Simple math है तो बहुत simple math है. You could be 25, you will have lesser chunks of 5 years. But assume your life is about 5 year chunks. Now, here's the thing. What if you what if you make your life, what if you build your life in those 5 year chunks? So as a young person, can you spend the next 5 years of your life in the hard mode all the time? Like you're only grinding while you're doing, obviously taking care of your body, you're being fit and all of that, but you're grinding extremely hard for the next 5 years to be able to build muscle, build connections, build body of work, build proof work, build whatever you can for 5 years. And then the next 5 years you could do like tad less. And then 5 years after that, you can operate in the hard mode. And while you do that, obviously you're growing older with time. And once you do that, obviously things change and move for you. But what will happen is that if you operate in the hard mode for the first 5 years, your body would have your physiology and your emotion would have changed to operate, allow you to operate at a highest possible outcome that you can imagine as an individual. So that's where the magic could operate from. So as a young person, think from that lens and 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 tell yourself that this is a 5 years of hard mode that I'm going to operate in, and then we'll take from there. Or if five is too long for you, you can break it like in the 3 year modes or 2 year modes. I mean, identify what that is, but operate from that space and run your life with that awareness. Once you do that, automatically you this entire debate of work and balance doesn't come in because you know कि मेरे को अगले 5 साल 3 साल grind ही करना है. So once you've accepted that I'm going to grind for the next X years, a number of years, X hours, then there's nothing else left, man. All you have left is, to be honest, is is doing it. Once you made the decision, all you do is after that you don't question yourself. Second guess what it. You just get from there on. So this is where I think it is.